Good morning, good morning, good morning, party people. It is Thursday. This is the day that the Lord has made. This is Tina with Enriched by Tina here to help you get your whole life together. As you can see, I'm getting mine together in real time. And y'all, technology is doing what technology want to do. But right now I got power, so we're going to rock and roll with it. I had to get myself together. Good morning, Damon. So good to see you. Always right there, uh, spreading the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And we thank God for what He's yet doing in our house. Good morning, Mother Deborah. Y'all, my technology is technology. And give me a minute. We're going to get it together. And we're going to, as they say, we're going to rock and we're going to roll. Good morning, Mother Loretta. I'm working on something over here on the back end. Give me just a second. Y'all talks amongst each other. Tell each other, greet each other, say what's going on. Shalom in every area where people are tuning in from. And we're going to get this together. Because technology is good till it ain't. I mean, uh, right? Damon already know we talking about guarded by God's peace. And so Damon already flowing. He already putting up our scriptures. Good morning, Mother Shirley. I can at least do that. Let y'all see where we're going this morning. Um and so now it's talking about some other stuff. What we got to do. So let me just do this. Right quick. Now it's talking about a reboot. Listen, I know. Listen, didn't want to reboot. It just rebooted last night, and I'm glad I caught it. Because it was just getting ready to shut everything down again. But I said no, delay this, because um, it must be something that we got to get this morning, y'all. He is really trying to do everything that he can think about to get this to get this from coming. So we're talking about guarded, and look, y'all, I'm gonna be just as calm. Good morning, Mother Shirley. So good to see you. I'm gonna be just as calm this morning because it's nothing is going to take me and shake me and get my peace where it needs to be. So we will be going to Philippians. Um and I'm gonna go on and read it right here in the in the KJV right here. It says, "Be careful for nothing, even when technology don't want to technology." Good morning, Tanya. So good to see you. Been missing you, praying for you. I know, I know what time of the year it is, and God is still faithful and just and keeping us strengthened. And so we, even in the midst of what we may be going through, we want God's peace to be with us. So guarded by God's peace. And so when you think about it, it says, "Be careful for nothing." And y'all gonna see me in a minute. Like I told y'all, technology is doing what it want to do this morning, but you can hear me. And so, but you're going to see me in a minute. Here we go. And so when we think about this, be careful for nothing in everything, but in everything, by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your request be made known unto God. And then 7 is where we will hang our hat and we'll kind of hang out. "And the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your heart and your minds through Christ Jesus." And see, that's the kind of stuff we have to just go ahead on and say, yeah, you gonna do your stuff. He gonna show up. Things gonna happen. But guess what? Good morning, Teresa. So good to see you. But God sees you, and He will definitely give you strength. I see you, Tanya, and I understand. But God, there's a brighter side on the other side, and yes, I felt you. I felt when you said that. I said, you know, and I'm interceding on your behalf, Tanya. While we're up on this broadcast, and we ask God to send His strength and His peace to you, and that God will continue to sustain you and get you to where God uh, I need you to be, and you could, and it's okay to be right where you are too. It's your moment, and you don't have to always be it and be all. You know, you're that for a lot of people, but I hear the Lord saying to you, you can, it's all right, and you can stay right there, and He sees, and everything else, and anybody else, what anybody else need, it's all right, because you're in your process, and it's a process, and every year it's a process, and so God, um send strength her way, send strength her way. And those of you that may know, Tanya is a personal friend of mine. She's a childhood friend of mine, and so September, October is rough for her. So we're gonna pray that God give her strength, and that God continues to give her strength. Many of you may or may not know, her daughter was taken away from her, and not in a, good way, and subtle, and out of the way. And so yesterday was her birthday, and then next month will be the 5th anniversary. And so, if you have a child, and you gave birth to, and you don't get to see get older, and get married, and do all some of those other things that we want our children to do. And thank God the Lord did allow her to give birth to a beautiful daughter whose birthday is this month as well. So pray for Marley, because that's Marley's mom. And so we thank God for that, because if you ever have had a child and then your child is no longer with you, and then depending on how it happens, don't matter. If they gone, they gone. And so let's pray for Tanya and her husband Keith. They're a power couple. I always say that, they renewed their vows, and the Lord has sustained them and kept them. And so continue to pray for the Jacksons. That God continue to strengthen them, and they got a story to tell. I mean, they even their whole process, even the whole thing. So when God is able to release that, Tanya, you're gonna make an impact. And I don't know if you saw the link, but contact Jody. She just celebrated an anniversary too. So reach out to Jody, and I think you all can do some things, and I see a good collaboration coming out of that, between you and Jody, and it's going to be a good impact for those that are struggling, because there are some parents that are still struggling as well. So let's and this goes right on into peace, y'all. I'm not lost, but I just felt that in my spirit. So good morning, Dr. Lejeune, and Mother McKnight, and Sister Crystal. Some of y'all came on in. So y'all, if y'all know, yeah, and if you have never experienced, but you know what a loss feels like. So let's continue to send strength that way, and let God, help her through this process. And so, yes, Damon, Tanya. So yes, we go way back. We go way back to elementary school. And so, when she said that, I felt that. Good morning, Janelle. And so when we have different things that come up against in our life, we have to continue to ask God to guard our peace. And when we ask Him to do that, we think about some things. Guarded means, you know to it is like, you say put your guards up, you putting this shield up. And so when you think about God's peace stands to watch over our hearts and our minds, protecting us when we become a little overwhelmed, we become a little anxious, our hearts are heavy, and things are coming our way. we have to ask God to help us guard ourselves. And so when we think about it, it's to protect, it's to defend, keep watch over us. And so when we ask God to send in God's peace, when we talk about that peace in Philippians 4:7, and the peace of God will guard your hearts and your minds. And so we have to continue to ask God to put that shield of protection to prevent anybody from intruding in on what we got going on. Because the enemy comes to do what? Steal, kill, and destroy. So if he can take us out, listen, I'm telling you. So listen, I see you, Mother Deborah. So you got some allies. So I see you, Mother Deborah. Yeah, it's hard. It. She said it's still as if it's still lingering, but God's peace that means that He will continue to surround us. He will continue to protect us, and God's peace acts as a protector around our heart and our mind. Because if we get our mind and our heart off kilter, good morning, Keisha. Good to see you. It will it can take us into some places and in some spaces and in a point in our lives that we're not living according to God's will and God's purpose. So when we think about it, y'all know I got to get over there in the children's Bible, but we think about God's peace. And okay, now technology don't, now we not doing this today. And it says, don't worry about anything. I went up to verse 6. But pray and ask God for everything you need. Whatever it is, if it's peace, if it's strength, if it's comfort, whatever you need to ask him. He said, and ask God for everything you need. And when you pray, always give thanks. And God's peace will keep your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. The peace that God gives is so great that we cannot understand it. And sometimes people wonder, like, what is going on? Why can't we get so why are you so calm? Sometimes people say, girl, I know you. And you ain't got your panties in a wad. Nope. Don't have the panties in a wad. Because listen, because the peace I leave with you and the peace I give you is not as the world giveth. If we think about what's happening in the world, like right now, it's enough for us to just really going on over and be worried and be like, oh my God, is this gonna happen? No, God, you are you are, I don't care who the president is, who the vice president is, whoever the secretary of state. I don't care about none of those people. Although those offices, they do they're valid and they're needed, but we have to ask God to step into their hearts and minds. They're gonna begin to make some decisions, and they don't even know why. Because Second Chronicles 7:14 said, "It's my people." We got to get on our job as believers. We got to get on our jobs and do what God says we need to do here in this earth. So He said, "I give it unto you and not as the world giveth. I give unto you. Let your heart not be troubled, and neither be afraid." So when you think about it, listen. She say, you name them all, and it's the truth. So I believe I might, Mother Deborah. I guess I might oughta. Okay. Yes, Andrea. We got to get on our jobs as believers. We do, because that's the only way He gonna heal this land. We got to do our part. And so when we start thinking about God's peace and what it means, life is not going to always be calm. It's not going to always be hunky dory. But when God's peace surpasses your intellect, listen, there is nothing that we can do about it but rolling it, rocking it. So when we think about this in Philippians 4:7, and let me see, let me pull it up on the Gen Z. Now you know I know where my now you see I told y'all the notes and everything be flowing. Oh, I see you. She said, listen, strive for God. Thanks for a peaceful mind. Because sometimes some people don't have any peace at all. They can't even get no rest. They can't find rest because they don't know that they they are the you're the driver of your peace. Like when you wake up in the morning, you have control over what you're gonna deal with. You do. You have that you have you have that authority. He's giving you that authority. And we have to begin to walk and rock in our authority to what God has. So maybe he don't want me to read it to Gen Z because I can't find it. So, but when we start thinking about what God's peace is, we have to then think about this. Peace is a gift from God. It says, peace I leave with you, and my peace I give you. I do not give it as the world give it. That's John 14 and 27. And so when you think about when the disciples had ever been faced with fear, you got to think about it. Jesus always reminded, I'm with you. My peace. I give you my peace. And you walking and rocking with him. Come on. When you know you got the King of Kings, the Prince of Peace with you, you can be assured that God's got you. So when you think about it, like when you're traveling, like for me, I used to travel with my pastor all the time. You know, where she went, I went. And so when you're in the presence of your pastor, and I don't know if it's just me, but don't you feel a little comfortable? Don't you feel like, oh, everything is all right? Like when you go to church, like you can have all kinds of thoughts and all kind of crazy stuff, but you get to the house of the Lord and let your pastor say something. It just it's something about being in his presence that gives you that peace that nobody else can give you. God gives us these things because that's what right. So we've been talking about love, joy, and now we're with peace. These are these fruits of the spirit. Because guess what? We're rooted in Christ and we're bearing good fruit. And so in order for us to produce that fruit that remain, we can't be all the time popping off. Let's remember we have the opportunity. You know, one of the things I told y'all yesterday, I taught the class on Tuesday. And that's what I told them. You have a choice. Good morning, Treva. So good to see you. You have a choice in the matter. You can choose peace or you can choose to be all up out of it. You know, you can be all fired up or you can be like, you know what? I choose peace today. My friend Tamiko says this, and I have patterned out of it. I'm choosing peace over frustration. So when stuff start coming up against you, I choose peace. I'm not going to be frustrated today. I'm not going to let nothing get in the way of my peace. Because guess what? If he gets us off our peace, he gets us off track, then we start popping off. Then, well, let me say this. I start popping off. I ain't going to put this on y'all. Maybe this ain't y'all. Then you say something. Next thing I know, I'm 38 hot. Then I'm telling you how I feel. And then I done got out of his peace. Because now I done gone to getting ruffled up. And now I want to lay hands and not lay hands in a good way. Is anybody else like that, like me? Like you take me but so far. And so we have to ask God to always give us peace. It said, call upon the name of the Lord. Let's call on the Lord and flee the wrath of God. You know, Pastor Wilson used to say, call on the name of the Lord and flee the wrath of God to come. That was a lady that used to do this. Yes, Andrea, I choose peace over frustration. I would definitely lift you up in prayer, sis. Absolutely. We have to, because when the enemy already know he already sitting guard. He's walking. The enemy is roaring like a lion. walking to and fro. Say, she had a good day yesterday. Oh, she didn't go off on that yesterday. She was cool and calm. He was cool and calm. Oh, let me add a little fire to it. Let me amp it up. Amp it up. He said, let me amp it up because see now I done hit a button. Y'all know when the enemy knows when they push a button, what button to push. And once you give them what you need, once you press that button, he say, bingo, I got her. So every time he want to get to you, he gonna go to that button that's gonna make you say, poof. Oh, you got me. Brrr, pop, 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 pop. Then you start shooting. Man, you got your machete. You got a Glock at him now. Poop, 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 poop. That's what you see what I'm saying. Then you start shooting. Then you start popping off. Then when you start popping off, yes, 38 hot. That means I got my 38 pistol. Pop, 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 pop. Then you got one of them. I don't know what that one is. The sawed off right on the disco. Then you shooting, honey. You got them, honey. They done got you wired up. Okay. I better stop clapping and making all this noise. Mr. Blackman gonna wake up, think somebody ain't shoot. Look, I have to forget. I do live with somebody. But I get all fired up just in the morning because I don't like the enemy. I don't like what he does. He trips us up. And so we have to guard our heart. That's why it talks about it in Philippians 4:7. And this peace that it continues. It guards our hearts and our minds. So it said, okay, it's not only gonna guard your heart, it's gonna guard your mind. Because see, if it get in your heart, then you get to thinking it, then guess what you're gonna do? You don't get to saying it. And if you don't have a shield over it, and so you have to think about in those times when you get anxious, when you just like for me, if I got to present something and sometimes it's like I know the stuff, but then the enemy will say, well, what if you get up there and nothing come out? What if your voice start, doing, what they told you? What if your voice start, and all this crazy foolishness and get me all worked up to then I don't want to say anything. And so something was said yesterday, y'all. I went to the zoo. That I was thinking like when you start thinking about the kids and how they learn. We was outside. Like I didn't understand. Like why would they have us at this zoo, right? It just behooved me. And so after I got through complaining, because I have to be honest, I was complaining because I'm like, why they got us out here in the heat? Okay, I'm gonna go out in the first group. Now, mind you, the first group had to wander around for about 2.5 hours out there to eat. I was sitting down listening to a lecture for 2.5 hours. So had I did that, guess what? I would have turned around and sit and wait. Because I was going to do it because I'm not going to be outside in this heat. But the process that they was trying to show us is kids learn in the outdoor environment. Now, I could not figure out the life of me why they had us at this daggone zoo. But then when we got outside and listened to the video and looked at the stuff, and there were a lot of great activities outside. And then when you start thinking and exploring and putting yourself in the mind of a child, you it brought it brought some revelation to me. So then I had to not focus on that it was hot, it's Hades outside. Take advantage of the opportunity that while I was out there. And so y'all, I walked like nobody's news. And I slept, as you can see, I still, I slept pretty good last night because this body got worked. But when you think about God's peace and when we don't understand stuff and we get anxious, and I was anxious about it. Like, I don't want to be around no animals. Y'all know I don't like no animals and all these other things. But if we just sit back and watch God, even in our anxious moments, And when you really sit back and think about why you where you are and what you're doing. Now, mine was at the zoo yesterday. I don't know what your anxious moment may be, but when you get anxious, just take a step back and ask God, what is it that you're trying to do? What is it you're trying to show me? Instead of me getting all worked up about the heat and all the animals and all this other stuff, take that moment to enjoy nature. Like I had my fan, I had my frozen water. They even had a little sprinkler, so if I got too hot, I went over there and let the sprinkle my arm and cool my body off. But I was gonna really let that really get me all worked up because everybody else was complaining. Then I jumped on the bandwagon. And then I had to think about it. You know what? You at not at work. I mean, I'm at work, but I'm not at work. My mind is able to take a break, chill out, give it some rest, think of something different, and figure out how nature can come in. And we know when we were kids, we stayed outside, right? So being outside is not a bad thing. You just got to channel, have the right tools and you'll be fine. So when we walked around the little area where they had the kids, is really, really when we stopped complaining about being outside hot, it really was an opportunity for kids to really to explore and really get some good learning skills and get some little things that could help them. And these little people, they're a little busy. So when you can get them outside and let them run some of that things off, we then it listen. I have to find and that's what I had to do yesterday. And I said, well, Lord, we shifting to peace this week, the latter part of the week. So that was his way of saying you got to find peace in everything you do. And peace really to get the true peace, it comes from trusting God. Because we don't get our pennies in the water if we're confident in something and we trust whatever it is, we cool. But when it's a little shaky and we don't understand what's happening, we don't trust the situation. And then you have to start looking, God puts me in every situation that I'm in. Have you thought about that? That the times when you in it at war and got your panties in a wad, as my grandma used to say, and you uneasy, it's because you don't trust. Is there anybody witness to this? If that's you, when you get little antsy and your pieces is a little shaken, are you really trusting at that moment? I just want to know. I'm gonna go meddling this morning. I just want to know because when you find peace, he said you will be kept in perfect peace, whose mind is steadfast because they trust you. That's Isaiah 26:3. He said, "Whose mind I'll keep you in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee." Is it you? Is you at peace? I just want to know because I'm over here drinking my water and minding my business. I'm gonna wait. I want to see. Is anybody saying? Okay. All I need is one person say yes. It's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. Y'all remember that song? That's one of the first songs they taught us uh as children in church. It's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. It's me. Keisha said it's her. It's me too. Damon said that's me too. Sometimes when we get the most antsy and anxious, are we trusting God? Are we resting in his peace? And so I want to leave that with you. Are you resting? You listen, me too. Sister Chris, I have to catch myself too because we have to make sure that we keep our mind stayed on him, as Isaiah 26:3 says. because that's when we truly trust him. When you can be at peace in every situation. It's when we fix our mind on his promises, his peace anchors us. And that can't nobody deter us or take us away. That listen, Tanya say that's her jam. Honey, that was one of the first songs I learned. You know, the little back in the day they used to have the vacation Bible school little bus used to come through the neighborhoods, and everybody would get on the bus and they'd be right there in the neighborhood and they sing these little songs. And that was one of the little songs I learned as a little girl. And then of course when you go on, oh, went to Sunday school and all those types of things. Yes, we have to say, it's me, it's me, it's me, oh Lord. So I want you to take 5 minutes. I have not forgotten. I asked some of y'all yesterday, how did you do with the person that you need to forgive? How did that work out from last Thursday? Put it in the comments. Did you did you do it? Number one, did you show some kind of kindness, or did you ask God to soften up your heart to help you to be able to forgive? And I'm getting better in I'm getting better. I did not approach the person, but I did pray and said, God, help me to forgive, because I have to continue to interact with this individual, and I can't cringe if they get up and say something. You know what I mean? And so, and um, and he hasn't released me to say anything, because sometimes you can say something to people, and God might be freeing you, and then you go over there and say something to them, then you get them all yoked up. So if the Lord ain't told you to go to them, if that's not if that's not an area, but it's like, God, help me get past the situation, the circumstance. That's what it is for me, because it's really not. It's sometimes we take on other people's stuff, and so it's really not my issue, but it's an issue for me, if that makes any sense. And so I have to move forward, so God can continue to bless me, so I don't get so I don't get hemmed up. And so that's when sometimes when we are dealing with things, we have to ask God to help us take on what's ours and what's not. Okay, so some people said they didn't see that person yet, but when they do, they will. And so some say they did, and it's a work in progress. And so I did ask the Lord to help me move past whatever it is. And whenever the individual comes to me and it's still bothering him about it, because sometimes we take on our friends' stuff. And so and if it's still bothering him, then it bothers me because it's bothering him, but it's not my issue. You know what I mean? And that's what we have to say, even to some of our closest friends. And y'all, I done did something. I don't know what happened. There it is. When it's not our issue, we have to begin to say, listen to whoever is talking to us and say, I'm listening to you. And then you offer prayer to them and you lead them back to the word of God. And then you have to say, now that's the last time we're going to discuss this. And that's how we one, we stop people from interfering with our peace, because they dump their stuff on us and they keep on and they living a life around, and then you over here jacked up. So now I'm learning to tell people, I'm not able to handle it. I'm not able to take this on, and please don't tell me this, because I don't need nothing taking me over here and get me off track. So I'm gonna pray for you, and I pray that God resolve this issue, but I don't want to know the issue. I don't want to know. I sometimes too wants to know. Sometimes the nosiness in us be wanting to know. Baby, I'm learning. The less is best. Because if I don't know a lot of stuff, it helps me. It just helps me. So all you gotta do is tell me to pray. You ain't gotta give me no specifics, because then I'll go to bat for you. I'll start praying for all kinds of stuff. Then you be wondering what be happening in your life. Like, God, what's going on? Well, you told me to pray, and see, I'm praying and asking God for some other things that you may not even thought about. And I said, whatever that situation is, God, touch it, but don't bring it to me. So let's sit down and take that 5 minutes of stillness. Write down how you felt before you start in your 5 minutes, and then And then right after you invited God's peace into your heart, mind, how did you feel afterwards? So, whatever you may be going through before, then um then you ask God, how do you feel next? And so let's do that. And let's ask God, guard my heart today. Guard my mind. Help me release my worries and let me trust you in every situation. Because that when we don't trust, that's when we get a little antsy. And let his peace rule over all our emotions and let him guide our steps. Because our emotions will emotion. Okay? They be emotioning. If that's a word. Like they say, life be life and emotions be emotioning. Okay? They take over. But we have to ask God to help us, give me peace in my emotions. Let me release this and let me trust you that you're going to handle this today. Because God is a healer of all things. Yes, he is. And so today our affirmation is, I walk in God's peace, which guards my heart and mind. Somebody put that in the chat for me. I walk in God's peace, which guards my heart and mind. And I'm telling you, when we walk in that, we choosing peace over frustration today. And Andrea, it's gonna be all right. God's got it. I heard him say that. He got it. And just give it to him and watch God move. He got it. And I definitely will continue to lift you up in prayer. And he got it, y'all. And we just gotta give it to him and let him have it. I'm telling you. And I'm telling you, when you let it go, y'all know my song, I Stop Worrying about things that could have been. I let go and I let God. Let God have his way. We might need to I might need to put a post up today. Like, what is your go-to worship song when you're thinking about when you're trying to get into the presence of God? I think I'm gonna do that. Like, what is your worship song? Let's put some worship in a playlist. Let's get a playlist going. And then whenever everybody do it, we can put it together. I'll ask, I have all those young people that around me to say, help me put this in a playlist and send it to people. Like, send it to people. Like, here is a playlist. Here is something to put in your toolbox. So let's get together a worship list. Because sometimes when we hear it and we got things in the background, we need something to gear and guide us, to get us back focused, even when the enemy think he got us. He says, yeah, walk in God's peace and God. Yes. Yes, I walk in God's peace that guards my heart and mind. Write that down. And this is like, we should have about 11 now, 11 or 12. Maybe this is day 12. We should, right by now, you should have 12 affirmations if you've been writing them down each day. Because this today was day 12. So you should have 12 affirmations, 12 things that you should be able to help you in your arsenal to say, I'm going to walk in God's presence. You know what? I just might just put all these all on one little thing. And then at the end of the 30 days, and then just say, who want these? And I'll just give them to you. I might just do that. I might just do that. Then that way you got them all in one place. And then write them down, put them on your note cards. So let's begin to walk in God's peace. And let's ask God to guard our hearts and our minds in all things so he can yes, a worship list is definitely a tool. It just dropped in my spirit like a worship list. Like, because I like music. Like, music is my thing. That's my jam. That's how I came. I think if they didn't have a choir, they didn't have music at church in the beginning when I first got saved, I don't think I would have came. Because that's what drew me, the choir coming through the neighborhood. It was the music. And sometimes that's how God ministers to us. I love the word too, but get some good singing, baby. Let me go. I'll see y'all in the morning. And she said that would be a great help. Okay, so guess what? We finna do that. We're gonna get us a playlist, and everybody that's on here, all 10,000 of y'all, we have 10,000 songs. Everybody said, what is she talking about? Let's get a worship list together. I'm gonna put a tag up, a post right after this, and I'm gonna say, what's your worship list? And then what's a song that you need to go in? And then by the end of the month, I'll have all the affirmations together, and then I will send them to you. Now you have to give me your email, because that's and that way I can email it to you in a document. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all. We got less than 3 minutes to go on over there. Just turn to the left and let's get ready to go to the sister circle. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Same time, same back channel. Y'all have a blessed day, because we choosing please over frustration.
Baby, now tell me exactly how you feel. I'm just trying to keep it real. Let me love you on the inside. Love you on the inside. Tell me exactly what you mean. You mean